Yo, and welcome to another epic tale with Full Circle Kung Fu, where we'll read the legends of martial arts and discuss the moral meaning and philosophy of why they've been passed down for so many years. And we'll share our own personal experiences related to them as well. But if you've had your own experience and would like to let me know down in the comments below, I would love to hear your epic tales and discuss the greatness that is you. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of your favorite hot beverage, and let our journey into martial arts begin.
All right. So, big thing is, what was the big moral to this story? What was the biggest thing that you took from this story? Sure.
Controlling your temper and making sure you don't just go into a fight.
Yeah, I think that's that's one of the big things in the story is actually he assessed the situation, right? He understood what was going on. Being a martial artist helps because you kind of have that know-how of understanding the situation and feeling confident enough to be able to deal with it and things. Being able to talk to them is a big part of it. So, was there another big point that was obvious in this story? No. Okay, so I think that was probably the biggest part of this story was actually just that he assessed the situation and approached it calmly and effectively. He ended up losing, the cakes and stuff, but that's not really a big deal, So, in that type of situation, it's fine because it's pretty much that you have to. He ended up giving that to them to. Sorry, someone is trying to get in. Yeah, if you could help him. Other side, other one, to the right. Yeah, and pull the handle. Yeah. All right. So with this situation, though, they had a cake. He had his cakes, and he was trying to give the cakes to these bullies, basically, to quell their anger, right? So doing that is fine in that type of a situation because in the future he could probably just avoid those guys and or take another route to get to his in-laws or something like that. But in a situation where it's like a bully at school or something like that, it's like that's not usually the best answer, is just to give them your lunch money every single day. So don't take this as an example for that.
Felt like it was essentially like that he saw them and he assessed that they were something that he could easily have fought off and beat up, and he could have done that, but he saw that there was no need to. So he's like, well, these might be cakes, and I was going to, give them to the in-laws at the altar, but they're hurting someone else isn't worth even that. So. Yeah. It's valuing somebody else's health and safety more than your possessions, I think, was part of it too.
Yeah, and having so why do y'all think that they had the first part of the story where he's being a crazy man standing on top of the house with a tatami mat in the middle of a typhoon?
I think maybe it was to show that he could overcome seemingly imbalanced obstacles, that it said that the wind was strong enough to take him off the roof, so it's not a force to be reckoned with, essentially. So he's able to stand up to the wind.
You can. Yeah, so it's I was just passing a book to someone. I'll let them read. So but yeah, it's perseverance, right? perseverance is pretty important in the story, because he shows that he has the ability to assess a situation where his life is in danger fairly quickly and effectively, and that's part of what that training was that he was doing in the rain. And then very next day he has the exact same kind of situation happen, but in real life. So the first one, he's technically kind of in a controlled environment, but not really, but in that situation he could have gotten hurt, but in the bully situation or the thug situation, he could have gotten hurt even more or lost his life, So that was kind of part of the practice there. But don't go. That does not mean go stand on top of houses in the middle of a storm trying to hold a good stance. Don't do that. I'm not advocating that at all. But building that fortitude in your mind, I think, is probably the greatest. Is probably one of the greater weapons that you can really gain in martial arts. So, anyone have a story where they feel like that kind of situation may have happened to them?
I don't have a story, but I have something that's kind of in a parallel almost to it, where
Okay.
it's like, it's not exactly the same moral of the story, but it was something that was recent that this kind of made me think of. There was a video that was saying that there was a teacher with a poster, I suppose, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a sign on their wall that said the power of yet. And so they said that, like, anytime you feel like there's something you can't overcome, then you just put yet at the end of the sentence. So it's like, I can't read yet. I can't punch somebody in the face yet. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, if you just put yet at the end of the sentence, then it, like, gives you a more positive, like, outlook on that thing. So it's like, he couldn't beat the wind yet.
Right.
And then he kept going at it till he could. So.
See, I was always told you say, I will be able to, instead of yet. But it's the same kind of premise, So, but there is a power in words, right? So, I was always taught that as a kid. You put you say what you want to happen, and don't put negative thoughts into the air, So,
for me, one of the things that stood out to me the most, it's gonna sound a little off topic, but it's gonna be piggybacking off what you guys said. I was watching The Last Dance talking about the Chicago Bulls in the '90s, and it was a video of Michael Jordan's father, and it said Michael was always determined to do something, and he said, if you really want to bring the best out of Michael, tell Michael that he can't do something. No matter how big or how small it is, it could be something simple as baking a cake, making an A in the hard class, telling him he can't hit a 3-point jump shot. He's gonna go out his way just to prove you wrong.
yeah. What about hitting a baseball? So
I mean, he has hit a baseball.
So Michael Jordan hears his podcast, he's being like, I'm gonna hit it now.
There you go. I am challenging you, Michael Jordan. Wait, we don't have to pay to say his name, right? So okay.
That's what stood out to me. My dad instilled that same mentality in me, because even having me personally, before people in my job and when my past jobs thought I couldn't do something because I wasn't as experienced as they are, or even me in Kung Fu, I was supposed to have my black sash in my last style, but of course life happened to me. I said, man, I have a black sash, but going back to what you just said, I don't have a black sash yet.
Right. And you'll get there. I mean, everyone has the ability to get there. You just always got to put the time and effort in, and that it's unfortunate that you had to stop where you were beforehand, but you're here now. So, I think there was a lot of stuff that I ended up speaking into existence whenever I was younger too, because whenever I was a teenager, because I started in martial arts when I was 4 years old, so I was pretty young, and whenever I started getting to be a teenager, I was like, I've been doing this for so long, and I actually have a want to continue doing it, and I wanted to be. I was like, I'm going to be a martial arts instructor, so I need to start making sure that I'm learning what I need to learn to be a teacher whenever I get to that point. So, I remember I actually wrote that down on in high school, they had us do those, write a letter to your future self. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the things that I wrote in the letter was like, have you started teaching Kung Fu yet? In the letter to myself. And, I remember I found it like several years back, and I was like, oh, that's so cute, you know. So you speak it into existence, and there is a good chance that it's going to happen if you continue to push and continue to say it. You know, it has to be something. But if you continue to put doubt in your mind, then it's a good. I mean, you're going to talk yourself out of it. So,
thanks for listening to part 2. What's something that this story reminded you of? Part 3 will either be listed in the description or part of a playlist on the channel. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and take it easy today. I know that you deserve it.